The shuttle rattled Arthur Prowse within his seat. The turbulence entering the planet Neramu was severe. Thick black clouds choked the atmosphere from excessive mining operations, key for the Galactic Empire to keep the galaxy running smoothly, unlike this descent. Prowse was sat by himself, though not too far away from his escort of pristine, white armoured stormtroopers, pre-checking their blaster rifles. The same white Prowse was now sporting on his double-breasted tunic and overcoat that was hiding a blaster pistol holstered on his belt, matching the contrasting black flared trousers, leather gloves, and riding boots. He fashioned an Imperial rank plaque with 6 red badges sitting above the 6 blue. Arthur Prowse wore the uniform of that of the Director of the Imperial Reclamation Service. The shuttle had landed with a sudden thud, jolting the passengers inside. Prowse and his entourage awaited the ramp to lower, and as it opened to the dim, murky world ahead, Prowse stood tall with his arms behind his back and took an affirmative step forward. Gone now was the unbuttoned collar of his youth. He wore his uniform sharp, his hair showing specks of silver was slit back tightly, his face clean-shaven, revealing a look of disdain. An odour plagued this world. It was pungent, like rotten vegetables upon a forgotten farm. Prowse cleared his throat, trying to rid the dry, metallic taste in his mouth. Director Prowse and his stormtroopers pressed forward, cutting through the dark fog. The squelching of marching boots had startled a skeletal fox that scurried into the abyss. There was a constant howling of the wind, clashing with the robotic heartbeat of the mining site a distance away. Eventually, their boots stomped on stone. They had arrived. Surrounding them was broken pillars and cracked steps with faded markings. The director paused and placed his hand in his pocket, pulling out a stone. It was warm and glowed a bright amber. "I'd wondered if you'd come back," announced a sharp yet croaky voice piercing through the fog. The stormtroopers aimed their blasters towards the voice. Prowse looked ahead, searching the temple ruins. "I did say I would return," Prowse firmly announced. "Only too late, and with an armed escort. It was a necessity. Protocol." "Protocol? An excuse you have used before." "It is the truth. Now show yourself. You are frightening my men," asked Prowse, turning into a kind, familiar tone. An amber glow warmed the fog ahead. Prowse rose and opened his hand, signalling his troopers to hold position before he continued forward and enveloped into the amber fog. The world disappeared around Prowse. Standing before him, within the dazzling glow, was Narata, wearing their own Kal-Iliad around their neck. Their clothing was dirtied by the dust storm and hair full of soot. Their soft patterned face had been ravaged by scars. The once upbeat villager had grown into a battle-worn fighter, supporting themselves on a spear decorated with feathers. Narata laughed. "Vorkara Sanara. It is good to see you again, Arthur. And you, old friend." They both smiled and laughed, catching each other's eyes. "I'm glad you came. We desperately need your help," started Narata excitedly. Prowse jolted his head back. "What did you think I'd come back here for?" "Look around. This planet is dying. Our way of life disappearing. The stories of our people are being grinded into dust. You can stop the mining operation. You have the sway to protect the historical significance of this world. And with what you have discovered from your artifacts you've catalogued, Returning them, we can finally push back the mining operations to let this planet breathe. For Neramu to shine again. Prowse remained still and silent. The excitement on Narata's face dropped. That is why you have returned, no? Prowse took a deep breath and spoke. I know what you have done, Narata. You have damaged Imperial property, disrupted mining operations that are crucial to the running of our galaxy. You need to stop. Otherwise, I cannot protect you. Narata gave a nervous laugh and took a step back. Did you come here to arrest me? Only if I have to. Narata's voice cracked again. You promised. I thought. You are part of the biggest archaeological team in the galaxy. You have the power to stop this, to save our way of life. I am sorry to disappoint you. That is not what I'm here to do. Narata tightened their grip on their Iliad, resting on their chest. You promised. Times have changed. Vanested Cardoa! The amber fog dimmed as Prowse pocketed his own Iliad and presented his hand to Narata. I will keep the Iliad safe, along with the artifacts we have archived. So you can hide them forever? So they can be preserved. So this mining operation can continue without destroying any more history that hasn't already been done. You are a liar, Arthur. If not worse, ignorant. Don't. I am trying to get you out of this mess. The mess your empire created. Too long has this planet been raided by those who think they can just take what they want. Too long have we suffered the fate of our history being nothing more than a whisper. Your empire wished to rewrite the galaxy. They wish to hide histories of those overthrown. Your empire is so afraid of people learning the truth. And what is that? The idea that one can fall. Arthur reached out his hand again and sharply spoke. Give me the Iliad. Narata placed their hand on the stone and tucked it under their scarf, and doing so, the fog turned mute in colour. Vinata! Vinata! Narata shouted while darting to one of the pillars. The sound of broken armour and screams from the stormtroopers echoed through the crumbled temple, followed by an array of blaster bolts illuminating a red fog. A flash in the fog in the distance, and another not too far. One almost hitting Prowse as he made cover standing behind a pillar. Readying his own blaster pistol, the display of lasers zoomed around the temple, revealing flashes of both troopers and Neramunians before disappearing into the fog again. Before long, the light show became sparse, and then to an end. An eerie quietness. Just the sharp whispers of the wind whistled through the temple, and the low bass drum of the distant mining site. Prowse, still behind the pillar, darted his eyes ever so gently, peeked by. A whack came from his right as Narata jumped out of the fog, hitting Prowse hard on the arm, knocking his blaster out of his hand. Narata swung their spear again. Prowse narrowly dodged the blow, with the spear ripping his tunic. He lost his footing, falling back onto the stone floor. Narata stood over Prowse, aiming the spear's tip towards Prowse's chest. Return the Iliad, Narata furiously demanded. You have dishonored its Venera. Prowse looked into Narata's fiery amber eyes. There was a tremble in their brow, a twitch in their cheek. Narata, A red flash erupted from the fog, tackling Narata to the ground. Prowse quickly regained his footing and grabbed Narata's spear, now mirroring their stance over the Neramunian. A stormtrooper emerged from the fog. They nodded, to give the all clear. Prowse nodded back and turned his attention to Narata. "Go on then. Finish what you came here to do," Narata spitefully shouted, clutching their side. Prowse rested the tip of the spear on Narata's neck and nicked the necklace, retrieving the Car Iliad. "Vil Ilmer Alzoro." Prowse took a few steps back and disappeared into the fog with the stormtrooper. Narata sat up near a crumbled pillar, clutching their wound once again, reeling from the pain. They shivered as they looked out into the fog. It got darker and darker, then to absolute black. The drum of the mining site had never felt so loud. It was inevitable. This planet and its memories will be nothing more than dust